Hey, welcome to Smoking Eagles Rod Shop. I'm Dustin, and today we're going to be talking about the #1 storage solution that everybody has at their home, their office, their business, their shop, wherever it may be. This is how I solved that problem for me. Now, I looked all over the internet. I've got a loft up here, and a lot of people have an attic or a loft, and I want to store stuff up there safely. That is the key, right? Now, I have stairs I built so I can carry stuff up and down from the loft, and it is pretty handy. If I want to walk up there and grab something, I can go up there and just grab something. Where the real problem comes in is when I get a tote like this that weighs about 75 pounds, and I have to lug it up these stairs. Yeah, it's doable. Going up is pretty safe. Now, I can't see my feet, so it's not perfectly safe, but bringing things down is the real pain. Let's say I've got a old transmission up there, and I want to try and bring it down these damn stairs. I'm probably going to fall to my death. I've only tripped and almost fell multiple times, and I decided, man, I have got to get a solution for this. It came to the point where I would fill totes, and I would just go, I'm not taking them up there, because if I need something out of it, I'm not going up there to get it, to bring it back down. And going up there and digging through the totes is just kind of a pain in the rear too, to get one item out. It'd be a lot easier if my tote was labeled and I could just bring it down, go through it, and put it back, right? I've seen guys with garage door tracks and garage door motors and elevator systems and winches and cables and all kinds of other concoctions that they've built at their house to do their thing. And I thought, man, those work really well, but they seem just a little overly complicated. They're, it's almost like, the regular DIY guy is going to have a month and a half trying to fabricate it for his specific situation. And not really what I'm digging, right? I'm like, I need something that is just easy. So this is what I came up with. Right up there, you can see I have what Harbor Freight sells as a truck bed crane. Here's a picture of it right here. They're not super cheap, but they're not overly expensive either, and you can usually get a coupon to get one a little cheaper. My store has to special order them, so I had to wait until they had like a 15% off any item coupon they sent me in the email or whatever, and I went in, I got 15% off. Nothing crazy, but I got it, and it was a little bit cheaper. Then instead of mounting it in a truck bed like they say, I mounted it to the floor in the loft up there. Now, what did that give me? Well, that gave me a cable crane that goes all the way to the floor. There's one issue though. It had a hand crank, just like you have on like a boat, right? To load a boat on and off your trailer at the lake. The problem with those is going up, right? You crank it, it has a safety. Click, 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 click on the way up. And then when you try and release it, right? It just releases and drops. So once a tote or anything that you haul up, right? And now you have it up in the loft and you want to bring it down, you swing it out and now it's suspended 10 feet off the ground or whatever. And when you unlatch that, the only thing keeping it from falling down is your hand strength on that crank. And you're trying to crank that thing back down. So that crank really limited me on how much weight I could put in a tote and safely take it up and bring it down. What was my solution? Well, my solution was this Badlands 120 volt winch right here that Harbor Freight sells. I took the two of these two items, mated them together with very, very, very little fabricating, and made this super sweet crane that I can hoist engines, transmissions, anything you want can go straight up. I swing it over and I set it down. Let me show you exactly how this works. So I've got the controls right here. I just go in. Look at that tote. This goes straight up in the air. Now this isn't fast, but mind you, I'm doing nothing. I'm holding a button down. I'm standing out, not underneath it. So if the bottom of the tote breaks, I'm not going to get smashed. And yeah, I'm just talking to you, having a good old time. And then you just watch. And once the tote is up high enough, which is about right there, I stop. I can hang my little thing back up here. Now let's go up above and I'll show you the setup. Now up here, our tote is suspended And we've got it's got a little lift here for up to like 4 tons or something crazy, but we're not using that for this setup, except for to lift this up at the correct angle so that the height of our tote straps gives us clearance to get it onto the floor. So once this is set and tight, I really don't ever touch it, ever. I welded 2 pieces of pipe on the back of here. Why did I do that? Well, I did that because I used this pump crank. My tote's out there. I want it over here. I didn't want to have to lean over the edge. So now I can just set this in here and I can just swivel this from the safety of on my loft. Now I forgot to bring the handle up, but you can just pull it up by the cable, set it down, offload your tote, put it wherever you want to put it. You want to take something down, you slide it in here, and then you just take it right back down. Now this Badlands winch, it's a 1,500 pound, so this thing's rated at 1,000. You're never going to overdo this thing unless you're breaking this thing as well at the same time. The only real modification that I had to do to this entire setup, there's a mounting plate for the Badlands winch. I didn't have to do this, but it actually comes way over here like this because it's designed for a different application. So I cut that off just so that it's not hanging out here kind of in the way. And if you look right up down in here, you see that bolt right down in there? That bolt hole is the only one that doesn't line up. There's 3 bolts that hold this winch on. That one doesn't line up. So I set that plate for the winch down on this top plate. I center punched it. I drilled a hole. I tapped it 3/16, 18 or whatever that is. Now it is a through hole. It goes all the way down through. So I guess you could just put a bolt through and put a nut on the bottom side. Or maybe you think it's strong enough with just the 2 bolts and you're not even going to put the 3rd one in. Doesn't matter. This comes with this winch. Everything is there. The only other thing I had to do was remove the hand winch that comes with this. And it wasn't bolted onto here, so I didn't have to remove it from here. I just had to remove the cable from the original truck bed crane and install this cable. So I unwound it completely off of the one, took it off, and then we unwound this cable completely so that I could feed it through these 2 rollers down and then just recoil it on here once I bolted it all together. All that saved me was having to cut this hook off and install the other hook or whatever in order to feed it through. Super simple. This entire project took maybe 3 hours. The biggest fabrication that I had was figuring out how to secure it to my floor. Obviously, everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different, but essentially all I did was I found a floor joist that goes this direction. I found the 2 that are beside it, and I put a piece of 1/4-inch plate steel on the bottom side of those 3 joists, and then I just bolted it through with long ass bolts. So now all the weight of this truck bed hoist system, when you put weight on it, it's pulling on 3 floor trusses up. You've got a ton of strength there. If you wanted to make it even stronger, you could I could put a bigger plate on here just to expand the load a little bit. But like I said, this thing's rated to 1,000 pounds. I'm never going to lift 1,000 pounds. It's not going to happen. The biggest thing I'm going to lift up here is maybe an engine block at 400 or 500 pounds, which is the minimum weight that this can handle. The only thing I have to worry about is my anchoring system here. And if I go to lift something and I'm watching this and it looks sketchy, I'm not going to do it, right? And this is, like I said, just a couple of pieces of pipe that I welded on here. And all that's giving me the ability to do is swing this around without putting myself out into the danger zone, which is over by the edge. That simple. Comes with the grease zerk. I greased it up really good, set it together. I've got 110 here, so I just have it plugged into 110. And then, one other thing. So when I have this swung over here, like so, and I drop the tote, in order to get the hook back down to the bottom, I don't want to hold the button and go, eh. So if you don't have something to lower back down with weight to pull it down, all you've got to do is unlatch this over on this far side. There's a little knob here. You pull this out, turn it, it unhooks the spool, and I just pull the cable out 6 or 8 feet, hang it over the edge so it's down there ready for me. And then you just got to make sure you remember to flip this latch, or you got to go up and down because you forgot. Ask me how I know. But anyway, let's go back down there and drop this tote back down, and I'll show you how I have this tote system set up, because that is also part of this build. So now we've got our tote up there. We're just going to bring it down. I'll bring it down just a little bit, and then I'll show you this bracketry that I built. That's pretty good. Okay, so our bracket here. All this bracket is a couple pieces of angle iron that I got off of an old bed frame, and a couple pieces of T-iron that came off of an old garage door opener. You could use any angle iron that you could buy at any local box store. I just like to reuse things that I have laying around. And all I've done is I measured this width of the tote across here and the length of the tote across here. And then I just made a little frame, set it on there, and I just welded it together so that that frame catches this bottom edge of the tote where it is supported the best all the way around. You've probably seen those tote systems where guys slide them in and out, just like this one over here, where you can just slide them in and out. Exact same concept, except I'm grabbing all 4 sides. And then I have a little bit extra. I drill the holes out. I drill these holes, and all I did was put an eye bolt on there, tie a rope onto it, make sure that you go crisscross so that the load can't try and twist on you and drop. And then on the top side, you want to make sure your rope is long enough that it's easy to flop it off the sides to get your totes in and out. And then you're in business. You can go up and down all day long with very, very, very little effort. Just like that. Now, once it's down here, this rope, all this is this is just like an old shock bushing off of a shock. You've probably seen some kind of a rope or chain system like this before with a ring. All that's doing is when you hook this on here, you level your load, you lift it up like an inch off of the ground, and if it's crooked, I'll show you. Let's say your load's like that because your tote's heavier on one side than the other, and you can't level it because you just put one item in there and it's super heavy on one side and it's super crooked. Well, without this little ring on here, this could actually flip all the way down if it wanted to and drop that load on your head. The way this rubber bushing works is you can set it down on the ground like this. Just take some of the weight off of it. And now you can pull this up like this and you can self-center it. So I've got it, and you can see the frame here is crooked. So I'm just going to lift it up like this, pull this rubber bushing down. I can self-center this, kind of pull it over, and that makes it so that when I slide this up like this, when I lift it, it's going to be level, and it can't really slip and slide because it has to pull that rope around multiple corners to try and re-shift itself. So now when I go in, it's almost perfectly level. And if it's not exactly the way you want it, you can kind of twist it a little bit, but you have to pull this down in order to be able to adjust it, because you've got all these corners here. You've made it hard for it to really flip on you. Super simple. You could use a D-ring, or you could use anything that's round and solid that's not going to get spread apart. Will help you with that. So what do you think? You think this is pretty cool? Is this a viable solution for your application, for moving things up and down, especially totes? Totes are really big. And if I had different size totes, I could make a frame smaller for those. This is an axle strap for hooking cars onto car trailers. This is also super handy. You can hook it right on this hook. You can put it around an item, through an item, like let's say this engine block. You want to lift this engine block up there. You can stick this through the cylinders, pull it around, hook it. Now I can just hoist this whole engine block straight up there, swing it around, set it down. You could do the same with transmissions. Anything that you can just stick this through a real sturdy hole or location in the item. Car wheels. Car wheels are a great example of that. So that rim, I don't want to carry that rim up. I shove it right through the center of that rim. Hook these two hooks on there, take it straight up, especially like aluminum 5-spoked rims, 20-inch rims, things like that. You can stick it right through a couple of the spokes, grab it. It's not going to beat your rim all up or tear it all up. I also use it for tires. If I want to take tires up there, I don't have to carry them. I just loop this through the tire, take it straight up. Very, very, very simple. Sorry, that was a lot louder than I thought. Oh, Turbo 400 tranny pan. Got a couple of them laying around. But yeah, this is super cool. This is a game changer for me here at the shop. It's already made a huge difference, and I've only had it for a couple of days, and that's why I was so excited to share this project with you guys and how I did this. If you have any questions on how I built this, put them in the comments below. I didn't make a video on building this project because I actually did it during our 12 hours of wrenching live stream. So if you want to watch the entire build start to finish, you can jump over there to that video, and maybe I'll take that video and edit it down at some point and make just a shorter video of it. But feel free to go over there, check that video out. It shows out the entire project, fabricating, drilling the holes, marking, how we decided where to put what where, how we made that fabricate to that. Although it was so simple that I didn't really think I needed to make a full frame video for you guys. Yeah. Oh, one other thing too. When I take this tote out of here, let me get this tote out of here. So with this tote out of here, another thing that I think is really cool with this is I can build myself a little platform out of plywood or anything I want. I could drill a couple of holes or attach it however I want. Then I have a flat platform, so if I need to set something on there and take it up and it wants to sit on just a flat platform and not inside a tote, let's say it's heavy and the tote's not going to be able to support its weight, I could set it right on there, bolt it to it if I needed to. Let's say it's oddly shaped or something. You could drill through your piece of plywood and bolt it to it, take it up, and then unbolt it if necessary. Transmissions. Let's say I want to take a Turbo 400 transmission up there. I can stick it in here long ways. I can strap it on here with a ratchet strap. I can strap it on there with a ratchet strap. Now it can't really fall off of there, and I can send this thing up as long as I level it and I'm careful and I'm not underneath it. You could build your own rig. Let's say you got 50 Turbo 400s or 50 V6 Volkswagen engines and you want them all up there. You could just make your own little platform to set them on that holds them correctly, strap them to it, take them up or bolt them to it, however you want to do it. This thing, the possibilities are just endless with this thing, and it's just so simple. Yeah. So that about sums it up for this video. I don't want to ramble on anymore. Is this project the GOAT, man? Or am I overthinking it like so many others? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to post some other videos around my melon here, things we're doing in the shop. Go check that stuff out if you see something that tickles your innards. And yeah, till next time, guys, keep on wrenching. Peace.